Approaching 6:39 now. Our streets are getting busier and more dangerous, especially if you're trying to just cross them. In this special report, I look at the treacherous trend happening around the country and here on our local streets. First and Division, Riverside and Wall, Division and Wedgwood. All places in the last month and a half where people were hit by a car. In some of those instances, there were serious injuries and even a death.
There's no area of town that's immune to this problem.
Spokane Police Corporal Nick Briggs says because auto pedestrian crashes are not concentrated in any one particular area, it's much harder to work to prevent them with things like emphasis patrols to get drivers to let off the gas.
If we get people to slow down, less collisions happen, and if a collision does happen, there's less likelihood that somebody's going to be seriously injured.
In the first 6 months of this year, according to SPD, 91 people had been hit by vehicles in Spokane compared to 64 in the same time period last year.
And this problem isn't unique to us. In fact, U.S. pedestrian deaths are at a 40-year high. A new study says every day across this country, 20 people will walk outside and get hit and killed by a moving vehicle.
Greater volume and more distractions, from drivers on cell phones to pedestrians with their heads buried in their phones.
Situational awareness is not just for the driver. As you mentioned, it means as you're walking around, eyes up, looking in all directions, and it's not only visual, but auditory as well. We see a lot of people, and I'm the same way. I like to listen to podcasts, but really noise and sound can be huge clues and really keep you safer from a variety of different hazards.
Corporal Briggs says with traffic safety, there are 3 key components, 3 E's. Education, which is what we're doing with this story. Enforcement, which, as we mentioned, is a struggle since these collisions are so widespread. And the third is engineering.
The city or the state, depending on which roadway it is, will look at our collision data and see where the most problematic areas are, and then do things like implement changes in the structure of the road to help reduce those collisions.
You've probably seen around town that Spokane has made some big changes to crosswalks and bike lanes. The city actually implemented a master plan in 2015 addressing and planning for improvements to pedestrian and bike safety. If you want to see that plan, we have a link to it on KXLY.com. Just look for this story.